First of all, take your finger, find the middle of your page. Mine's right about here, and I will put a little belly button right there, okay? That's going to help me get my drawing centered. Now I'm going to show you guys my secret method. I'm going to roll down my bling here. Put your hand up, lock your wrist, let your shoulder roll around like this, and you're getting a nice smooth circle. Now see the belly button? Look where this circle goes. Okay, that belly button is towards the bottom of it. Okay? Lots of room up above here for the cool hat that I want to give him at the end. We're going to put down some guidelines now. I'm going to put a guideline straight through the middle. I'm even going to start up above. This is a little tricky. I know there's little kids here. So help them out, moms and dads, if they need help with this. Okay? Still very rough, very light and loose. We'll put another guideline right at the bottom of that big meatball. So now that meatball's going to be on a plate. Okay? Just like that. He's a hound dog, you know, so he's got great big jowls. To get the shape of those jowls, we're going to put two little watermelons right here in the corners. One right here, and one right here, coming up to give each other a little smooch. Some watermelon love here. Just like that. Okay, everything's still very light and loose, very sketchy. Haven't darkened in anything yet. We're going to draw in his nose, and being a hound dog, right, he's got to sniff out trouble, like chipmunks hiding in Christmas trees and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and draw his big snout right here. Actually, it's not his snout, it's his nose. There we go. It's a big grape shape right in between those two watermelons that we drew. Lots of fruit in this drawing. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. I know. Let's go ahead and get that locked in. These are simple fruit shapes. We won't be drawing any pineapples in here, don't worry. Just like that. Nice, bold outline. And, you know, a dog with a cold, wet nose is a healthy dog. If you want to draw another little oval at the top and darken it around it, it'll look like his nose is wet and shiny, which is good. It means he's in good shape. Okay, now that we've got that, let's give him some snout lines. They show that his long hound dog snout's coming towards us. And they do it with 3 rainbows right over his nose. One's very close to it right there. The next one is very close to that one just above it. It's a little shorter than the one we just drew. And this one's a little shorter than that one. Also very close together. Now, I'm right at the bottom of my circle with these lines. And I'm going to grab onto the one at the bottom right here on the end, and I'm going to bring out a coffee cup handle. You know, the way they looked in the days before Starbucks, when coffee cups had handles. It kind of looked like that. There we go. Trust me, kids, I was there. I saw them with my own eyes. They existed. Okay. That is his cheeks. And inside his cheeks, we're going to see corners of his smile. Just put a little curve, outward curve in each one of those. And now we'll lock in those jowls. Before I do that, I'm going to build a bridge between those 2 little watermelons there at the bottom. Just like that. And now we'll start locking this all in. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll tell you a little bit about old Pluto. He's a good pup. And he's been around for a long, long time. He actually started out and an old cartoon. They needed a couple of hound dogs, and so they designed these 2 dogs. And then shortly after that, Walt Disney decided that he wanted Mickey Mouse and Minnie to go on a picnic, and they wanted Minnie to have a dog that they could take along for the picnic. And so they took one of those old hound dogs from this other cartoon, kind of redrew him, made him look a little friendlier, and they called him Rover. And so he was Minnie Mouse's dog at first. And give him a couple of little whisker dots and whiskers too. Then Mickey needed to go on a moose hunt in a cartoon that came shortly after that one, and so she gave him Rover. They named him Pluto after a recently found planet at that time, and the rest is history. He became Mickey's dog after that. Let's go ahead and open his mouth up to a big, wet, slobbery smile. I'm going to go to his cheek up here and very lightly bring down 2 lines from each cheek just like this. And right about here, I'm going to ever so gracefully join them together with into a kind of a big hue, very light and loose. I'm going to add a So that's his lower lip now. And I want his tongue hanging out because, when dogs get really excited, their tongue like that, hanging out of their mouth. Here's what we'll do, everybody. This is going to blow your mind. Let's go over here to the side of the inner lip and bring a waterfall down like this. Whee, just like that. Grab onto that waterfall and go down again. Whee, but we're going to go a little further, and then we're going to defy gravity and go up to his lip. Just like this. Check it out. Big, excited look on our pup. Okay, now, as far as his lips are concerned, all we need to darken in is what is showing that is behind the tongue, which means this line, this one, and this one over here. I can't imagine his tongue would be hanging out, he'd be panting like this and not have some slobber, so there's some slobber. All right, everybody doing good so far? There's a lot of steps to this, Scott. You guys chose the right class to come to. This is challenging. All right, let's keep going then. His eyes, very excited, right? Like you saw the chipmunks. Let's go ahead and use his cheeks as kind of a base as I bring this big curve up right against that cheek, and I'll bring a big curve up against this cheek. You can see they're even Steven on both sides of my center guideline. I'm going to do a U-turn. Bring it down like this, and this one over here, I'm going to let that one overlap this one a little bit. His eyes are like popping out. He's so excited. It's Halloween, and somebody's giving out dog treats along with the regular trick-or-treats. That's always fun when people do that. They see you have a dog. I'm like, let's go ahead and get these locked in. There we are. Go. And do that over here too. There we are. Okay. Now his pupils are also going to be ovals, just like these. Right about here and right over here. You're going to make those nice and dark too. You really want the eyes to be the standout feature, so push hard on your pencil as you darken those pupils in. Now, we're going to draw in his eyebrows. So just above each eye, I'm going to draw this curve one more time. It's going to be close to the side here. It's going to come up, and then it's going to stop up here. So basically, I've got a candy cane over his eye right here. And the candy cane right over this one. My friend Sarah knew a lot about dogs. She used to work with us here. She told me that dogs like Pluto have a bump on the top of their head. It's called a smart bump. And if you meet Pluto in our park, you will notice that he has that bump on the top of his head. So look for it today if he's out and about. I'm going to now choose a line to connect his brow to his cheek down here. I'm not going to use one of my original circle lines. He'll have a balloon for a head. I'm going to go much closer here and kind of parallel the side of his eye as I go from here to bar, and likewise over here. His ears I'm going to have hanging down. They have a starting point, and it's these little earbuds just above his cheeks on both sides. And then they come down like this. They come down like big, wet noodles. And they're kind of like baseball bats, and they're very narrow on this end, and then they widen out and get round on the bottom end. Let's get that locked in there. There we go. Do the same thing over here. Light and loose. Pretty long. That looks pretty good. Get that locked in too. Okay, who wants to give him a little Halloween costume? Me. Okay, good. Then let's do it. We're going to give him a little pirate hat. He loves the Pirates of the Caribbean. Loves that ride. So here's what we'll do. Let's go up to his brow right here. And just underneath the brow, I'm going to draw in two parentheses like this. But they kind of hook over, they kind of imitate his brow here. So a little bit of a hook to it up there. I'm going to do do the same thing over here. I'm looking at that center guideline, making sure that everything is nice and even. That looks pretty good. And then, boom, just like this on the top. Maybe, you know what? That's not big enough. I'm going to go bigger. Go big here for Pluto. That's more like it. Big, tall pirate hat. Arr, matey. Okay, just going to get that nice bold outline of that. Right up here, you draw a little circle and a little rectangle under it. Add a couple of lines to that. And got a little skull there. Dead dogs tell no tales. All right, and how about, hey, let's give him a little earring. Right down there. And, ooh, he's wearing a scarf like every good pirate. These are just two little jalapeno peppers here. One's hiding behind the other one. There he is, Captain Pluto, terror of the seven seas. How did everybody do? Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, that's what I wanted to hear. I'm going to shade in those ears real quick here. I just turn my pencil sideways and real sketchily kind of give those ears and that hat some color. And then don't forget to sign your pirate pup. Oh man, we're doing pretty good on time too. I'm shocked because there's so much detail in this guy. I really thought we'd run over, but that's a good thing. I'm sure you guys need a little extra time to finish off your piratical pooch.